The January transfer window is here, so European clubs can make new signings. This is most certainly not as big as the transfer window we have over the summer. However, we do have some Americans that need a transfer as soon as possible. By that, I mean like right now. Some of them gotta bounce. Hi, you're here, I'm Filippo, and welcome to Tactical Manager TV, and welcome to 2024. A year where so far we have no new wars, no new pandemic, prices haven't gone up, so inflation hasn't really struck us this year at least, or hasn't really hit us this year yet, and the US men's national team is still undefeated. Solid start, even though it's been like 48 or 72 hours. But today, I will be going through 5 Americans that need a new club this January. I will also be giving you the probability of them getting a move based on public information that you all probably know and some information that I was given. Yes, I do have some sources, even though no one believes I do. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we don't. And understand we're starting the year off slowly, but we intend to pick up with a lot of content starting next week on the second week of January and the return of the US Men's National Team Abroad series every single Monday. So if you kindly could, please hit the like button on this video, and I'd like to thank you in advance. And this video is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy, but more on that later. Let's play the intro and let's go to player number uno, which is just 1. Player number 1 is actually the most obvious name in my entire list today, and that's Gio Reyna from Borussia Dortmund. And yes, I know Gio being in this list is quite obvious, but how could I leave him out? His contract with Dortmund expires in the summer of 2025, which means they'll seek to renew it or to sell him during the summer of 2024. His current market value is around 20 million euros, which may be seen as a bargain due to his talent and potential and age. But at the same time, it can also be seen as a big risk when you take into account the amount of injuries he has had in his short career. But hear me out. A transfer, or not really a transfer, but a loan this January makes total sense for Gio Reyna, the player, and Borussia Dortmund, the club. Reyna was only not available for the first 4 matches in the Bundesliga, which means he's been fairly healthy all season long. I mean, he's been healthy for 12 consecutive Bundesliga matches. In those 12 matches, 4 of them, he got 0 minutes off the bench. And on the other 8, he played no more than 45 minutes each, usually less. That was the maximum he played. He was available to play 1,080 minutes, but he only played 229, which is simply not good enough for a player with his talent. And some of you may say, but Filippo, he missed preseason due to an injury. Sure, you have a point, but his minutes don't really seem to be trending up under Terzic, even when healthy. Do you remember last season where Gio Reyna would score a game winner and still come off the bench the following game? There was even a moment where he scored in 2 consecutive matches. I think both of them were game winners. And then he got 0 minutes after that. Seriously, like the 3rd game after that, he got no minutes. So long Terzic is in charge of Dortmund, I just don't see Gio Reyna breaking through. I see him getting, sometimes he'll start in a game if there's a lot of injuries, or just getting some 20-minute cameos or things like that. So as long as Terzic is there, it just doesn't make sense for Gio to stay with Dortmund. But okay, overall, what's my opinion here? Personally, I think Gio Reyna needs to get a loan to any team in a top 5 league that needs him and would give him consistent minutes, that he would arrive and the starting position would be his to lose. He needs it for his development, and Dortmund needs it if they want to sell him next summer. That's why I said this is the perfect scenario for the player and the club. If they want to sell him, especially with his contract expiring within a year, they need to have him play somewhere so, someone can be willing to pay a transfer fee. And if he gets a loan and plays well, and then let's say Terzic is fired or gone during the summer, Maybe Gio can even come back to Dortmund, renew his contract, and actually play. Now, will Terzic be gone? I don't know. I think he will get fired at some point this season. They're sucking in the Bundesliga. They might not even qualify to the Champions League, and they'll probably get knocked down in the round of 16 to PSV, so maybe he'll get sacked. Where will Gio Reyna go? I don't know, but he most certainly needs a move this winter. A loan would be fine, and a permanent deal, which is unlikely in this transfer window, could also happen, I guess. Oh, but wait, there is one quick, very important piece of information that I must give you. Apparently, Gio Reyna has changed his agency in order to get a move this winter. There have also been reports that Claudio Reyna was meeting with Dortmund to discuss the future of Gio Reyna with the club. So I guess right now we should just sit back, relax, and wait. And don't worry, I'll keep you updated on the US Men's National Team Abroad series whenever Gio Reyna gets a move, or maybe we'll do a live stream. What's the probability of Gio Reyna getting a move this winter? I'll say at the time of this recording, it's 50-50, which is actually fairly high, right? There's a 50% chance, in my opinion, that he will leave Borussia Dortmund this winter. Permanent or loan? Probably a loan. Could be permanent, but I would bet more on a loan. Player number 2 is Ethan Horvath, the goalkeeper from Nottingham Forest. And I'll be quick for this one because it's pretty straightforward. I mean, Horvath is the third option on goal for Nottingham Forest. Matt Turner is one of them that's ahead of him. Last season, he was with Luton Town in the EFL Championship and got promoted to the English Premier League with them, but they didn't keep him because he was on a loan. So there's definitely a market for him in the English Championship, the second division. And I was also told by my sources, I have some sources. I'm important. Not really, but in all seriousness, yes, I was told by some sources that Ethan Horvath actually has offers from the EFL Championship. There were also rumors that MLS teams wanted him, but I can't really confirm or deny that. No one was able to tell me anything, but it seems like Horvath himself prefers to stay in England. His contract also expires this summer, so Nottingham Forest might be willing to sell him for a super low fee. His current market value is around 1.5 million euros, which is cheap, but they'll probably accept even less, to be honest. I would say there is a 90% chance that Ethan Horvath will get a move this winter. Whether it is a loan, whether it is a free transfer or a transfer fee, I don't know, but he'll probably be out. And before we go to player number 3, a quick word from our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. Oh, and by the way, I usually post my picks on Instagram and Twitter, so if you want to go follow us there, if you don't, you can do it like right now if you want to. Okay, we'll be back in a minute. And thank you, Underdog Fantasy, for sponsoring Tactical Manager TV. Underdog Fantasy is a fun game to play prior to any soccer match, or basketball, or football as well, but we don't talk about those two in Tactical Manager TV. Sometimes basketball during live watch-alongs. I have been playing Underdog Fantasy for over a year now. You can download the app by using the link on the description of this video, and you can also use the promo code TMTV. And Underdog will be matching your first deposit for up to $100. And in the process, you'll be helping the channel avoid bankruptcy. The game I mainly play is called Pick'em. You just click on it, scroll to the soccer section, and pick a player for a specific match and select the stats that you believe will be lower or higher. It's very easy to play, but be smart about your picks because it's not easy to win. I'll be playing some Underdog Fantasy during some match live streams or match live watch-alongs, so stay tuned for that, as I will be forced to cheer for a player or root against him. Now, I am a professional hater, so I'll probably be rooting for the player's downfall. Once again, don't forget to use the promo code TMTV and use the link on the description of this video. Thank you, Underdog Fantasy, for sponsoring the channel. Player number 3 is Miles Robinson. Right now, he's unemployed. He was with Atlanta United in MLS this season, but he is a free agent. He's out of contract. And many would say that there is a 100% chance that Miles will get a transfer since his contract has expired with Atlanta. But Atlanta is apparently trying to re-sign him. But I think it won't happen. But again, it could, so it's not 100% certain that he won't return to Atlanta at the time of this recording. Other rumors that we have heard were about FC Cincinnati. Apparently PSV was also interested, according to Tom Bogert, even though I doubt they'll actually sign him. There have also been reports of other clubs in Europe being interested, but, here's my own personal opinion. I think Miles Robinson will stay in MLS. I think he'll be an MLS lifer. And here's my reasoning for it. He's one of those players where what MLS teams are willing to offer him is too much when compared to the teams in Europe that, want him. He becomes unaffordable to the teams that would actually utilize him and want him in Europe. Top teams in Europe don't want Miles Robinson, but relegation battle teams and maybe some mid-table teams in top 5 leagues would want him. And here's the thing, he'll probably get $2 million a year in MLS, maybe even more. The clubs in Europe that would want his services won't pay him. But of course, I could be wrong. I've been wrong multiple times before, but I've also been right. A lot. And I will say there's a 70% chance that he stays in MLS and a 30% chance that he heads abroad. Just my opinion. Player number 4 is John Tolkin from the New York Red Bulls. And you know, John Tolkin, he is a man of many haircuts. Yeah, man, this guy, unlike me, that I just repeat the same haircut, he has like a different haircut every month, I think. His contract with the New York Red Bulls goes all the way till December of 2027, and his current market value is around 4 million euros, which is pretty low if you ask me. He's probably worth a good 8 to 10 million. Tolkin turns 22 in 2024, and he was really good for the New York Red Bulls this season with 3 goals and 7 assists as a left back in the MLS regular season. He was also able to step up and come in clutch for them to convert a penalty kick late in the game in the last match to get New York to the playoffs. In the playoffs, he was also decisive in the wild card round, the first round against Charlotte, getting a goal and 2 assists during their 5-2 victory. And then after that, they got eliminated by FC Cincinnati. Tolkin was great this season, and he was even voted Player of the Season by the fans. Now that I talked about that series between the New York Red Bulls and FC Cincinnati, I just reminded myself that MLS had that moronic idea of, you know, a 3-leg knockout, a best of 3, I guess, knockout rounds to kick off the playoffs, which was pretty freaking stupid. But back to the video. Look, Tolkin is not perfect, and there's a lot he needs to work on and improve, but at age 22, it's time for him to make a move and get a tougher challenge. If he wants the challenge for A-Rob's backup left back position with the US men's national team, this is the next step he must take. It's time for him to leave MLS and go for a tougher challenge. It's also the perfect age for him to go abroad and test himself. He's proved himself in MLS. He's one of the best left backs in the league, and if it doesn't work out in Europe, he can always come back 2 or 3 years later when he's like 25, which is still young, and have a career in MLS. But at least he can say he tried to go to Europe. I want to also add this, that there were rumors that he could be heading to RB Salzburg in the future, since his former coach Struber is actually there, and I mean that would also keep him in the Red Bull system, right? He plays for the New York Red Bulls, would just go to RB Salzburg. It would make total sense. Now, what's the probability of that move this winter, because this video is about the January transfer window and not the summer transfer window? In my personal opinion, I think he should go now. However, I think it's unlikely that he gets a move this winter. I would say there's like a 10 or 15% chance that Tolkin gets a move this winter to Europe. However, I'll add that I think a summer move is very likely. I'll say there's probably like a 10% or 15% right now that he'll go to Europe this instant, but during the summer, I'm going to jack it up all the way to like 90%. I don't see Tolkin staying in MLS past this summer. And I'll say this, going to Salzburg would not be a bad move. You know, go there, play well, get some Champions League minutes, then try to go to top 5 league a season or 2 later. I don't think this would be bad for John Tolkin, but we'll see. Time will tell. Baby steps. Baby steps. Last but not least, we have Paxton Aaronson from Eintracht Frankfurt, the brother of Brendan Aaronson. So where do I begin with Paxton? First and foremost, Paxton is no longer 18. He turns 21 in 2024. And again, I can't overemphasize the importance of pro minutes for a player's development. He has played roughly 90 minutes in the Bundesliga this season. Total. That's it. Like, we're halfway through the season and he played 90 minutes. And those minutes are trending down, because Eintracht Frankfurt is actually out of the DFB Pokal. They have been eliminated from the German Cup. And, you know, they're in the Europa Conference League knockout rounds, and they played him a lot in the group stage. They'll probably not play him in the knockout rounds. On top of that, they also signed Donny van de Beek from Manchester United. What I'm essentially saying is that Paxton Aaronson barely played this season, and as tough as it is to go any lower, it seems like his minutes are going lower. So they're pretty much going from 90, which is like nothing when you take into account halfway through the season in the Bundesliga, to probably 0. If he doesn't get a loan somewhere where he can play and develop, what we'll end up seeing with Paxton is something similar to Caden Clark, where he'll probably be back in MLS by 2025, which honestly, it's not good. He should be developing in Europe. What's the probability of him getting a loan? I'd say right now it's 50-50. I haven't really heard of any rumors. I'm just saying he needs it. I didn't see any reports of a transfer or a loan this winter for Paxton Aaronson. I just don't see why Eintracht Frankfurt would keep a young player if they're not going to utilize him at all. I guess he'll just not leave or get a loan. I doubt they'll sell him, but they'll probably get a loan for him. However, I could see it not happening if there are no clubs interested. But if there is a club interested, they should absolutely loan him. He needs to play, and he's simply not playing. Right, everyone, thank you very much for watching. Before you go, here's a quick bonus section of 2 players that I also think should get a transfer this winter, but I'm not too worried. One of them is Diego Luna from RSL in Major League Soccer. I am 99% sure that he'll get a transfer in the year of 2024 by the summer. I personally think he should leave this winter, but what I've heard is that he won't leave this winter, but he'll leave during the summer. The other player is actually Paxton Aaronson. Here's the thing. It seems like Union Berlin might terminate his loan. There were rumors about that, which would lead him going back to Leeds. If he goes back to Leeds, he won't play, and the fans don't want him, and probably he doesn't want to be there. So if that happens, Paxton Aaronson will also need a move. Now, where? I don't know. I didn't really think about it because he wasn't going to be included in this video, so I just wanted to put out this little bonus section. I apologize for my voice. I've been super sick, but we had to get this video out for y'all before, players actually got to move in this transfer window. So I want to thank you all very much for watching. Welcome to 2024. Drop a like before you go, and have a great day.